But hey, dude, being actually homeless, like homeless, like, when I was in my early 20s, like I'd like lived in my car, I was couch surfing, but I'm gonna just tell you off rip, that ain't homeless. Yeah, it's still hard. Yeah, it's difficult, whatever. But like when I had my car, like I still was able to get places, I was still able to work. Like when you have a vehicle, let's just put it out there. Like you are definitely not homeless. You're not homeless if you have a vehicle. I mean, okay, maybe to I got $1,800. So obviously go to the dope man, you know, get some stuff. I'm loaded up. I got my dope. I'm good to go, right? And um anyways, I forget how the argument started. I think my dad like knew something was up cuz he was like monitoring me pretty heavily. He's like he knew I was on some shady shit. He didn't know about the D web yet though. Yet, keyword. He didn't know about the web yet. But so, anyways, we got into an argument. I had all this money, so I'm like, screw you. Like, I'm gonna go stay at a hotel or something then. But, anyways, I ended up going to this chick's house downtown Minneapolis. I'm not gonna name the girl, but she knows who she is. And frickin' dude, this place was such a scummy. This was like the sketchiest, like low grade apartment you've ever seen, bro. Like, I go there because I'm looking for some go fast. You know what I mean? So I get to this chick's apartment, bro, and like there's this like gay black dude and there's like some other sketchy dudes there. And like bro, there's like this girl's kid was like sitting in the corner with like scabs all over him and they're just neglecting this freaking kid, man, and they're all just spun out like just self-absorbed. It was like the grossest thing I had ever seen in my life. Like this kid was like a freaking couch or like a light or like a picture on the wall. Like there no one was paying attention to this kid. And like I'm just kind of like seeing this like, dude, am I the only one noticing this? Like, I know bro, I know I'm not doing the best in life, but I mean, hey, is anyone paying attention to this little freaking toddler, man? Come on, what's going on? So anyways, besides that fact, these people are starting to plot on me. Like, and I got a real good sixth sense about that type of shit. Like, I can tell when people are on some weird shit. Like, they kept telling me, like, oh, yeah, like, I was about to, like, make some transaction with somebody, and they kept saying, like, oh, come over here, come over here. And, like, it was like, one of those situations where it's like, let me see the money first. No, 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 come on, let me see it. Let me come over. It was like one of them type of things. So I'm like, all right, skirt. And take in mind, I'm high on that. And it's 3 in the morning, downtown Minneapolis. There's absolutely nowhere to go because you got to realize I don't even think I had an ID at the time. I had hella money, but I didn't have an ID, didn't have anywhere to go. So I'm just like, well, shit. So I go to this health club. It's called Lifetime Fitness. It's kind of like LA Fitness. I don't know if you guys ever been to an LA Fitness, but it's 24/7. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to chill in the hot tub here for like 4 hours until it's daytime, and then I'll just start walking around again. Well, I go to this LA Fitness. I'm all spun out and just ba 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 ba. They end up kicking me out. I couldn't, like, the place was so big. I put all my stuff in a locker. I couldn't find the stuff in the locker for the life of me, and literally lost all my money, lost all my dope, lost all my bars, lost everything. It was literally the worst night ever. And then like I woke up in the and like I called my buddy and I was like, hey, you got anything? Blah blah blah. He like gave me a tiny ass shot. So fast forward to like 9 a.m. the next morning, all my stuff is gone. Like, actually, no, I did have my ID. My ID was gone. Like, everything was gone. I couldn't find my clothes at this Lifetime Fitness. I had like 100 needles. Like, I had all this crap that just got lost at this Lifetime Fitness. So fast forward to 9 in the morning. Somehow I ended up at the hospital because I was trying to like tell them I was in withdrawal, to get some comfort meds. They didn't give me jack. Anyways, fast forward another couple months, right? I've been doing the dark web thing more and more. I'm actually figuring it out, and I'm kind of like, I'm somewhat like sustaining a decent hustle off this shit because I'm getting these bars for like 40 cents and selling them for $10. So I mean, if you do the math, that's like 11x profit. So, I was doing okay, as good as like an addict can be doing or whatever. But I'm getting all these things sent to my freaking dad's house. And then, like I wasn't even really like trying to hide it that well. I wasn't really like, and eventually like he got wind of what was going on. He caught me one time, caught me a second time, and then he caught me a third time. And the third time he was dating this chick, and like usually he doesn't have the power to say no to kick me out. But like I think his girlfriend at the time was kind of like pushing him like, "Hey, you need to kick him out." And rightfully so. He probably should have kicked me out. I mean, I'm getting drugs or, whatever. I mean, even though actually technically the flualprazolam bars aren't even illegal because flualprazolam, the chemical itself, is actually not illegal. So technically I actually wasn't even doing anything illegal. But there's the argument you're marketing it, branding it as whatever. But technically the chemical itself wasn't illegal. But so anyways, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And dude, I had some like dingy ass jacket. Like I didn't have much to my name. I mean, I had some, I had a little like somehow at this point, like I forget exactly what it was. It was either like my dad like found the shit and yeah, he confiscated all of them and threw it away, and that was like all my money. So like I was screwed. Like he threw the whole pack away. I'm talking, bro. Like I'm talking like 1,000. He threw 1,000 away. Or actually, I don't think he threw it away. No, he didn't throw it away. Actually, that's right. And I ended up finding them later, but we'll get to this. So, anyways, so that was it, the straw that broke the camel's back. And he's like, okay, I'm dropping you off in Minneapolis. And so we go to Minneapolis. I got this shitty ass little jacket on, and it's like at this time it's like November, so like it's starting to get cold. It's probably like 40. Well, it was at night, so it was probably like 35, maybe 40 degrees at the most. So he drops me off at HCMC, this hospital downtown Minneapolis, and like I've never legitimately been homeless, like homeless before. So like I don't know what to do. I literally am just walking around aimlessly, and like I didn't know about homeless shelters. I didn't know about really anything. So I think the first night I like went to a parking garage and like I slept there for like an hour. And the parking garage, I found out very quickly, was a very uncomfortable. Like there was like a construction site, right? And there was like these like there was like plywood stacked on top of each other. It was like a construction site. And I literally slept on top of the plywood. And then like I remember at 6 in the morning, like some bright ass light came on, and like the construction employees were like heading into work, and I'm just like, I'm like, don't mind me. I'm just sleeping on your job site, dude. I'll get up. And then so I get up and, back to walking again, because when you're homeless, you're walking a lot. And man, and I did have a phone. It didn't have service on it. So like during the day, daytime, I'm looking for places to go for Wi-Fi. So I'd go to the library where all the other bums hung out. And I'd go get Wi-Fi, watch some videos, call some people, try to make some moves, try to get some money, try to do this, try to do that. And what I learned was I was like, all right, well, I don't want to sleep in parking garages anymore, so I'm going to sleep on the light rail. Now, the light rail in Minneapolis, it's like a subway. It's kind of like a subway. We'll just call it that. But it's a train that just takes you to different parts of the city. So that my second strategy was I would start sleeping on the train, I would sleep on the train, but the train is like really noisy and it stops and there's like loud noises. So that's not really the best, and it's hard plastic seats. So that's not the best place either. So then, the one of the light rail tracks that'll bring you to the Mall of America. So I went to the Mall of America one night, and there's like a little waiting room in the bus area. It's 24/7. And there's these chairs there. So I'd kind of like look at my phone, I'd lay on the chairs there, and I'd fall asleep. And funny thing is there was like monitors there at the train station at the Mall of America that would be like, hey, you need to wake up. Like, they'd let you sit there, but if you started like nodding off or like sleeping, they'd tell you to like stop sleeping. Like, they basically because it was like there was a lot of other homeless people there sleeping too. So that was the other spot I found. Now, on the way to the Mall of America, there's the Minneapolis St. Paul airport. So I went to the airport and kind of just tried to blend in and, sit down and sleep there. I remember one night specifically, I think I got like maybe 2 hours of sleep there. Got woken up by TSA. They're like, hey, man, you can't sleep here. You got to get out of here. So ended up going down, and there was like some kind of like abandoned area, and I like found a wall, posted up, caught a couple hours of sleep, kept it moving. Now you got to remember, I'm at the methadone clinic at this point, so I'm having to like take the train back to the city and then like hop on the bus, ask for a free ride, and hope I got to my methadone clinic that day. Some days I would miss it, some days I wouldn't. And it really sucked because like, a lot of homeless people, like they're very resourceful. Like they figure out ways to get money. They fly their signs and do this, that, and the third. I, however, was probably the least resourceful homeless person I've ever met. I literally had no money this entire time, no ID, no nothing. Like, and you got to realize, like, at this point, we're at like a week, week and a half, 2 weeks, haven't showered, and like I'm starting to stink. And there's like a problem with like the smelling aspect. And I'm like, dude, like, where am I going to take a shower? I'm like, thinking to myself, I'm like, how do homeless people survive? Like that is a big aspect of it. And like, honestly, like, your feet start to like get sweaty, and like, there's like abrasions on your feet, and they start getting sores and shit on it. And it was really bad, dude. And yeah, I'll leave it up in the member section, bro. Definitely. But yeah, man, that was the hardest part about it, man. It's just like finding the next place to go, and the ID thing. I didn't have an ID, and then I kind of start talking to other homeless people at the library. Like, my pride at first, like, I wasn't talking to anyone. Like, I was just like, I was too prideful. I was just like, no, I'm not talking to these fucking people. But eventually, it's like, bro, when you got nothing, you got no. It's like you got to start. You got to start doing something. So people are telling me about different shelters, which one to go to, which one not to. They're like, don't go to Salvation Army. They're like, that place is freaking horrible. Like, go to higher ground. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to try to get into higher ground. So I go to this homeless outreach place, and they ended up giving me this like shelter ID. So I'm like, all right, that's step one in the right direction. I got a shelter ID. So that night I went to the shelter, and I was very weary of like showering there the first night. In fact, I don't even though I really needed to take a shower, like, I don't think I actually went through with it, because it was like, bro, it was fucking disgusting. Let's just keep it. It was like, bro, there was like piss, freaking wrappers, like nasty ass towels, like razors on the ground, like, just, it was disgusting, bro. Like, shit, like, literally like homeless dudes with like shit in the shower, and that honestly started to kind of piss me off, because it's like, bro, like, okay, I get it, you're homeless, I get it, like, this place isn't ideal, but like, if you're gonna be here, why treat it like a piece of, like, just have some freaking common decency. But like, that's not how a lot of people think. There's a lot of mental illness in these places. Ba 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 ba. And so I'm staying at this place for a while, and I'm kind of starting to like get the groove of being homeless. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm doing this, so like I might as well just figure it out. So I worked up the courage to hop in the shower. I know that sounds stupid, but like literally it took me a little bit just to get in that shower, man, because well, and I didn't have shower shoes, so I would have to do is like put a towel on the ground to block my feet from because dude, the ground is like literally freaking disgusting, man. So I put a little towel on the ground, block my feet from that shit, and so boom. So I get I start brushing my teeth again because I hadn't brushed my teeth for a while when I first got there. So I start brushing my teeth. I'm starting to get into a routine, and like as you get into that routine more, it kind of like, your confidence kind of boosts and you kind of accept this sad reality that you now live in this homeless shelter. So I'm kind of like building myself up. And I eventually get a job at Jimmy John's. So boom, I'm working at Jimmy John's, kind of like whatever. It wasn't like a great job. I wasn't making much. I was making like maybe $100 a week, 150 a week. I was only working like 3 days a week. So I got the little job at Jimmy John's. I'm moving and grooving. I start drinking a little bit. I'm on methadone, but I don't get into the hard drugs, and I just keep saving money, and eventually I ended up getting into a sober house, and things were okay, but I ended up, the only reason I went into the sober house was so I had a mailing address to get more Xanax sent. So it wasn't for the right intentions, and I wasn't ready to get sober then. So, but yeah, no, I actually ended up getting 1,000 Xanax sent to like Christian sober living house that I was living in, and like I had it worked out perfectly. Like I had it sent there, right? Because I knew they didn't check the packages there, and I didn't want it to go to a place where someone would steal my shit either. But I knew at this place the staff took the packages and they put them in the office. So what I did was, um, no, well, actually, I didn't know if they checked the packages. So what I did was I moved to another sober house, but I still had it sent to this one Christian sober house. So basically, what I did was I got the package sent. I got a tracking, USPS tracking on it, and I knew the day it got sent there. So I went to the place the day it got sent there, and I kid you not, the owner of this sober house, this was like a compound. This is a big place. There was like treatment, sober living. Literally, the owner of the place hands me 1,000 Xanax. He's like, "Oh, here's your package, Luke." I'm like, "Hey, thanks, man." Friggin' doot, 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 doot. Like it was yeah, it was pretty funny, man. But yeah, dude, I mean, being homeless in Minnesota, bro, like I can just say like the little things, like just waiting for the bus, like getting places, having it be freezing outside, like those are the little things that really really suck about being homeless in Minneapolis, man. I do not suggest it. Oh, well, obviously being homeless sucks, but yeah, I don't know. Joey the Gypsy inspired me on this, man. So, anyways, you guys, that's my story about being homeless in the streets of Minneapolis. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm Luke from Luke GTV.